If I had my way, two people would not run in 2027. They will not run at all. President Tinubu and Vice President Atiku. Then you have a really good chance of giving Nigerians a choice to pick the best candidate. The reason why President Tinubu shouldn't run, I think, is that he's run out of steam. I don't think that he has the capacity to continue to govern this country beyond 2027. I'm speaking honestly without any prejudice to him. I think he's fulfilled his ambition. He had become president of this country. By 2027, he would have served for 4 years. It would have been the best time for President Tinubu to say, I need a younger person. I need a healthier person. I need somebody who's more focused on governance. And for Vice President Atiku, the same thing. They really owe this country the responsibility to say, we don't have to be presidents in 2027. The country needs fresh blood. The country needs a new lease of life. We are the wrong people to provide it. I know I'm talking, it sounds crazy, but this is honestly what would have been the best thing. So, you have President Tinubu as a person.
Seems almost impossible.
Well,
because
I know.
These men that you're talking about, yet ideally, if you say this, politically speaking, in some sense, but almost impossible to tell Bola Tinubu, don't run in 2027. I tell Atiku, don't run in 2027.
Well, it doesn't stop us from saying it. Sometimes the most impossible things are the best correct things as well. You'll be in your late 70s, 80s, whatever. You're challenged by so many things. And the country is becoming increasingly more and more difficult to govern. You can imagine the U.S. has the leverage. You hear stories that the U.S. is descending advice about who should be our vice president. Take a Christian, later don't go with a Muslim. I know they sound incredible, difficult to believe, especially for people of my generation, who remember when Nigeria would look at America and say, I won't use an impolite word, but we would tell them where to go and sit, and Britain and Europe. And suddenly now we have become so low that they're not only throwing bombs in our country, but they are also choosing for the president the faith of his number two, sending messages saying, don't pick another Muslim, pick a non-Muslim. You hear all this kind of thing. People hear them. Some believe it, some don't believe it. Anyway, the point I'm making is, if our politicians have the right appropriate levels of patriotism and commitment, both of them can become incredibly powerful. Vice President Atiku, for instance, if he steps aside, he has the historic opportunity of becoming quite possibly a lot bigger, more powerful than the president. His candidate could win if he is not the candidate. For instance, just for the sake of argument, let's say he picks Tambuwal or Obi and says he will run for us and he would win for us against Amechi. All of you, I will step down. That's my sacrifice. In return, I want you to support him and support him as his number two. And we will rally the country around these people. And we will defeat APC. And they campaigned really hard. They combined the North and the South and say, this is it. Vote. And Northerner doesn't necessarily guarantee the country will be run better. Buhari has taught us a lot of lessons. One of Atiku's biggest liability is that being Northern is not good enough. This is unfortunately the poor record that Buhari left behind.
So I asked you that question because, and I don't know whether or not Peter Obi has some things to learn from Nyesom Wike about party primaries, especially having to go head-to-head with Atiku Abubakar. That man seems to have a master stroke in winning party primaries.
You're talking about Wike now?
Atiku Abubakar. And I'm saying whether or not Peter Obi needs to learn something from Nyesom Wike. Sometimes when you lose, you have a lot of wisdom to share in your loss. And I'm saying that for those who who think Peter Obi, the only reason why Peter Obi will be in the ADC is because he's going to be the flag bearer of the ADC. And people are forgetting that there's a Rotimi Amechi in the ADC. Yes. People should ask Bola Tinubu who Rotimi Amechi is when he ran against him for the ticket of the party.
Yeah.
And perhaps you should go and ask Nyesom Wike the kind of dramatic political game Atiku played against him in the PDP 2023 political primary. And that's what I'm saying. It looks very dicey, isn't it? But it looks like they have very strong candidate that could be the flag bearer.
I think almost certainly, and I'm guessing now, if ADC goes to convention, and it almost certainly will, and it will only because that's what Vice President Atiku wants. He will get the ticket. And then a lot of people will walk out. Because a lot of people are in that party only for the same thing. They want the ticket. So, then ADC will have its own problems. But you raise the issue about the similarity and the weaker experience and what Peter Obi needs to understand. One of the reasons I think Peter Obi is saying, hey, listen, look at me. This is Peter Obi. I'm not here for number 2. I'm not here for convention. I'm here to fly the flag. And he's getting people who are saying to him initially in whispers and politely, and now they're saying to him, listen, join the queue. You're not the only one with ambition here. Look around you in this room. There are 1 or 2 people who have been here from day one. And they're sitting there waiting. And you're walking here and saying, Peter Obi doesn't do conventions. Or he just goes there to be anointed. So, ADC will bleed after its convention because almost certainly Vice President Atiku will get the ticket.
And when he does?
And when he does, some people would walk out. Because
that might crumble.
It will be severely damaged. Because they would need, we're talking about a few more months to an election. How much damage control can you do against a party that already it's got all this money, all these politicians, and maybe some sensitive state institutions would. Let me share with you, I had a very interesting conversation with a very prominent ADC person, a PDP person. And I said, well, explain to me what you're still doing in this party that had virtually been demolished between the party, between APC and very sensitive state structures, governance structures, including the judiciary. And he says, well, we are waiting for these same people who walked out to walk back. And I said, yeah, I know there is likely to be an implosion within APC. Do you think they will come back here? And he said, where else would they go? There will be, for every one governor position, you're going to have 5 or 6 very, very strong and powerful contenders. Who's going to separate this fight? If everybody has these structures, everybody is a very powerful person, both the loyalists and the defectors. And the president gets involved, or the party at the very highest level gets involved in terms of choosing, no, it's got to be him, not you. And we can give you an ambassador, we'll make you a minister. What about the others? So there will be an implosion. ADC can leave its door open. If I was advising ADC, I would say, well, since you guys are not busy telling the country what you would do differently from President Tinubu, you are waiting for a convention to decide who flies their flag. Maybe you will wait for a miracle. Maybe there will be a huge number of PDP people who would walk out in anger because the average politician is just simply interested in office.
Just my people, as it hot, it don't happen. No. God bless you, Amen, Baba. This is nothing but the truth. Please, if you feel this man is speaking the truth, please kindly share this video and drop your thoughts in the comment section.